There's a metal shortage coming that no amount of money can fix quickly. No, I'm not talking about silver and I'm not talking about gold. I am talking about the single most critical metal that powers the AI boom. It's so important that we just seen Amazon buy up a whole mine. So while everyone is focused on chasing gold and silver, the smart investors are already quietly tracking copper. Copper supplies have become a major problem. Demands from AI especially mean that the world needs to mine the same amount of copper over the next 18 years as it has mined in the last 10,000 years combined. So today I have a copper mining penny stock company that has the solution. They are ahead of the pack and operating one of the most prolific regions in the world. But get this, they are trading at around $30 million, while other miners in the same location that actually have smaller claims are trading much higher. Now we've got a lot to get through in this video, so I will try to keep this intro short, but if you find any value in this, can I ask you to smash the like button? It takes a lot of time to make these videos, but it literally takes 2 seconds and costs nothing to smash the like button, and it helps the channel out so much. I'm aiming to get 500 likes on this video. Help me hit that goal. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on any new content like this. I want to point out that I'm not a financial advisor and this is not financial advice, so always do your own due diligence. Now let's get into it. Super Copper Corp is a Canadian exploration and mining company focused on building world-class copper projects. With 2 flagship assets and a milestone-driven acquisition strategy, Super Copper seeks to offer asymmetric exposure to the high-risk, high-reward frontier of copper exploration. The stock is listed on the OTCQB, ticker symbol CUPPF, but is also listed on the Canadian Securities Exchange, CUPR, and the Frankfurt Exchange in Germany, ticker symbol N60. The company is led by an experienced team with a strong record of discovery, development, and value creation across both mining and capital market sectors, and their flagship copper projects are based in Chile's prolific Atacama region, a mining district renowned for hosting some of the world's largest and highest grade copper deposits. The company's vision is to build the next great copper success story by advancing high potential projects with proven mineralization, strong infrastructure, and a strategy grounded in exploration excellence, technical integrity, and disciplined capital deployment. So why am I talking about copper? Why not gold or silver? After all, gold and silver are the rare earth metals that everyone is talking about at the moment. Well, anyone who's been watching this channel over the past 2 years will know the answer to this. I was talking about gold 2 years ago. I made several videos talking about gold stocks that are now flying high. And last year, I was talking about silver all year, talking about the upcoming super cycle. And some of the silver stocks that I talked about last year have gone from penny stocks to multi-billion-dollar companies. But both of these rare earth metals are becoming overhyped now. Silver has gone from $15 up to $116. But copper, on the other hand, has gone from 3 to just 6. Make no mistake about this, we are in the middle of a metal supercycle. But it's still early stages for copper. Since the start of 2025, MSCI's Metal and Mining Index has beaten semiconductors, global banks, and the Magnificent 7 technology stocks by a wide margin, and the rally shows no sign of stalling as the boom in robotics, electric vehicles, and AI data centers spurs metal prices to ever new highs. But the real key to the energy transition has yet to see the same surge as the other precious metals, and this is where I believe Super Copper Inc. comes into play because they have just released some big news. Super Copper is focused on unlocking value from 2 high potential projects. The company has over 12,000 hectares across 2 large-scale properties in Chile's world-class Atacama mining district, which is one of the world's most prolific copper gold belts. First, we have the Cordillera Cobre project, which is a large land package comprising 27 exploitation license applications. The project has all the necessary infrastructure in place, such as highway access, mine roads, and established power and water networks. And it's located near major operations such as London Mining's Candelaria, Capstone Copper's Santo Domingo and Manto Verde, and BHP's Cerro Casale. Super Copper holds an option to earn up to 100% ownership, positioning the company for a clear pathway to control and advance a project with high-grade copper intercepts, strong silver association, and extensive upside across untested targets. Then we have the Castilla project, which is approximately 7,200 hectares and lies along a parallel structure trend to the past producing Manto Negro mine, which historically produced more than 1.3 million tons of copper between 2005 and 2009. Super Copper holds a 100% ownership interest in Castilla, and both of these projects have extensive infrastructure and exploration upside. In total, more than 300 samples have been completed and over 1,500 meters of drilling have been done across the projects, where samples have returned grades higher than 10% copper, among some of the highest in the region. Super Copper's grades have been confirmed through recent exploration samples, which I will look at in a moment. Looking at the latest investors presentation from January 2026, so this is super up to date. We can see here that every layer of the current AI boom is limited by copper, whether that's hyperscale data centers or semiconductor fabricators, or even the national energy and utility companies. They are all limited by copper supply, and for this reason, copper demand is skyrocketing. Even the world's biggest companies, such as Microsoft, Amazon, and Google, are feeling the crunch. The AI race hinges on the copper supply. But the copper supply is decreasing, which is why last week we seen Amazon buying an entire copper supply to be produced by Rio Tinto in Arizona. This is crazy. But just look at this. At current consumption, the world needs to mine the same amount of copper over the next 18 years as it has mined in the last 10,000 years combined. Think about this in the context of supply and demand. It takes 15 years to build a new mine. And we always hear supply crunch and scarcity of supply being used when people mention gold or silver, but there is nothing on the scale that copper is on. This is why we have companies like Amazon buying up entire productions. But the thing here is, unlike gold, unlike silver, as we seen a moment ago from copper's price, this is still flying under the radar. And Super Copper can help with the solution. Super Copper is the only company with 17% copper grades, which is 30 times above global average, and is backed by Aprion Investment. Super Copper is led by a top team with decades of experience and a history of success, such as technical advisor Mark Gibson, who is formerly the chief geophysics officer at NYSE-listed Ivanhoe Electric. Mike Dufresne, the lead geologist, is a key contributor to large discoveries totaling over 4 million ounces, and CEO Zach Dolsky, who led his prior company to a $150 million valuation. Now, the business model here is simple. Super Copper aims to own the supply, then develop the supply and multiply the supply by using their technology and reducing waste to get more copper from every ton. Now, I looked at the two main projects just a moment ago, but I didn't mention that it's not just copper. The Castilla project is also home to iron and gold, with 53.8 among the highest reported in the Atacama region this year. And here we can see just how close super copper projects are located to major producing mines. And the company has a lot of upcoming catalysts too, which I will talk about in a moment. But first, let's look at the latest news. In the most recent news, Super Copper announced a high-grade discovery from rock grab samples following the completion of its Phase 1 surface sampling program at the Castilla project. They have identified high-grade, multi-commodity mineral systems characterized by bonanza-grade gold, exceptionally high copper and iron values, supporting the presence of a large and robust mineralizing system. CEO Zach Dolsky stated that these results represent a defining discovery moment for Super Copper. Grades of 53.8 for gold, 17.7% copper, and over 50% iron are exceptional on their own, but what matters most is the consistency and scale emerging across the property. The combination of gold, copper, iron, and pathfinder elements points to a robust mineralizing system rather than a single isolated occurrence. Castilla is quickly shaping up as a potential flagship asset in one of the world's most premier copper gold jurisdictions. And we can see these highlights here, which you can pause and you can read if you like, or if you want to hear much more about this, then there was an interview just a few days ago with the CEO where he goes into a lot more detail about the findings and the opportunity. This is well worth a watch, and I have put a link to this in the description. But what comes next for Super Copper? Well, 2026 is going to be a defining year, and there is plenty of upcoming catalysts to be aware of. They will be establishing new drill targets across both projects, launching drilling programs, advancing new asset acquisitions with milestone-tied low dilution model while they scale up their exploration teams. Now remember that I'm not a financial advisor and this is not financial advice, but for me, copper is quickly becoming the biggest bottleneck of global progress. And super copper is positioned in the right metal, located in the right region at the right time. But that's my opinion, so always do your own due diligence. If you enjoyed this analysis, then remember to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.